It's time to sit back, relax, and listen to Change Your Attitude, Change Your Life. Change Your Attitude, Change Your Life will inspire, motivate, and empower you. Live your best life now. Listen, learn, think, and decide. Change your attitude, change your life. And now, here's your host, Joan Herman.
Welcome to Change Your Attitude, Change Your Life. You're listening to us in your neighborhood from coast to coast and around the world. Thanks for tuning in. I'm Joan Herman, author, speaker, and your host. Change Your Attitude, Change Your Life brings you interviews with some of the most inspirational and influential people in the world. It's our goal to educate and empower you so you can live your best life now. Thank you for taking time for yourself, and thank you for letting us be a part of your life. We have another great show for you today. Joining me is Joe Bonsall of the Oak Ridge Boys. Joe is here to give us a backstage tour of life in the country music industry and the career of the Oaks. Joe is lead tenor of the group and author of the book, On the Road with the Oak Ridge Boys. Welcome, Joe. Thanks for joining us today.
Well, Joan, thank you. Thank you for having me. It's an honor to talk to you, and I appreciate you having me on.
Well, Joe, the Oak Ridge Boys, you guys have been entertaining us for more than 4 decades. What do you believe is the secret of your longevity? I mean, so many groups come and go. Why have you guys been able to maintain the success that you have for so long?
Well, you know, Joan, I've heard so many different answers to that question come out of our mouths over the years, and I tried to allude to quite a bit of it in the book. But, you know, you can easily say, well, we love what we do. We're living our dreams. We appreciate and love each other, and all of that is true. But I think it really goes deeper than that. Yes, every one of us as little boys wanted to sing. We all wanted to sing in a harmony group, and all of our dreams have come true, and then some. With the Oak Ridge Boys, as you just alluded to, we've been together 42 years. And, you know, William Lee Golden, the guy with the long beard, man, he's been here 50 years. And Dwayne Allen, 49 years. Richard Sturban, 43 years. And with me being the last to join, 42 years. So the river runs pretty doggone deep. We've had some incredible success. We've lived out our dreams. We do love to sing. We do love each other. But like I say, I think it goes deeper. The Oak Ridge Boys' history goes back to World War II. The original Oak Ridge Quartet sang when they were developing the Manhattan Project. They were out of Knoxville, Tennessee, and they were called the Georgia Clodhoppers, and they would go over and sing at the secret installation where the atomic bomb that would end the war in the Pacific was being made. They were the only outside people allowed into the installation, where thousands were sequestered, scientists, military, all their families, to working on the atomic bomb. After the war, they moved to Nashville, changed their name to the Oak Ridge Quartet, and they started hosting the all-night singing conventions at the Grand Ole Opry. And on it went into the 50s. Some younger guys got in the group. They changed the name to the Oak Ridge Boys. There's all of this history. And now we've just been inducted into the Country Music Hall of Fame, which is just huge for us, very humbling and a huge honor. And to be in that rotunda with all of the greatest artists that's ever sang in country music. We're also in the Gospel Music Hall of Fame, which to me is just as big an honor, because when I was a kid, I wanted to sing gospel songs. So I think that to a man, as long as God gives us the health and the ability to go sing, we're going to keep singing, because nobody wants to see this end. Nobody wants to see this history end. I think we carry it with us. We all know that we're just a spoke in the wheel. The big wheel is the Oak Ridge Boys. And like I say, everybody loves this group and what it's done and loves its history. And, you know, by the same token, I've talked to artists who over the years got really tired of this. I don't ever see that in the Oaks. People ask us, when are you guys ever going to stop? You're going to retire? Man, there's no quit in anybody. Everybody in this group is forward-thinking guys. You know, it only takes one guy to say, man, I can't stand this anymore, to really put the negative spin on it and maybe start the downward spiral. But everybody in this group is always thinking about, what are we going to do next year? How are we going to make it better? It doesn't even matter that the youngest guy, me, is 67 and the other guys are in their 70s. Everybody's like planning next year and the year after. You know, what are we going to do on the tour next year? What are we going to record next? What are we going to do on the Christmas tour that makes it better than last year? It's just forward thinking. And I really think a lot of that has to do with the fact that all 4 guys are as spiritual as we are as well.
That there's something bigger. There's something bigger that you all hold on to.
Exactly. And you can feel it in the group. And I think people feel it when they hear us sing. I know we're not all singing all gospel songs, but, man, we sing more gospel songs than you think. Our latest CD is Rock of Ages, an album full of hymns. And it's really fun for us to go back and sing the old gospel songs because we love them. We had such a good time recording this hymns album. I cannot tell you. I've seen us over the years have so much success. I mean, we've sold 41 million albums, man. We've had success that people dream of. But in the studio singing, I love to tell the story. It's just like incredible how spiritual this group is, every guy. And I think as we've gotten older, we've gotten more so, more appreciative, more humbled. I think we look around us every day, and you almost can't believe we're still doing it and that we're still doing it well.
Joe, what was your big break?
Well, our big break came in 1977 with a little song called Y'all Come Back Saloon. But it came actually built up to that. We met Jim Halsey in 1975, one of the great impresario music managers and booking agents that had ever been to that point. He came to hear us sing because he'd heard we were pretty doggone good and wanted to check us out. He put us on a show opening for Roy Clark so he could go hear us sing. Afterwards, we had a meeting with Jim, and Jim said, there's a bunch of things we need to do here to get you guys going. You've got the best show ever. Gospel music has taught you how to hone your singing talents, but you're starving to death. We need to put some dates in the book that start paying you money, and we need to get you off of Columbia Records and over to MCA. Let me work on that. He put us with MCA Records. Jim Fogelsong, legendary record executive who's also in the Country Hall of Fame, put us together with producer Ron Chancey, who produced us for the next 10 years, and found this little song called the Y'all Come Back Saloon. And boom, it hit big in 1977. All of a sudden, wow, we were on our way after really starving to death there for a couple of years. I mean, we didn't go to bed as a gospel quartet and wake up as country music hit makers. It was a long process.
Right.
And I got to also tell you, people like Johnny Cash and Paul Simon and Jimmy Dean played a big role in all of that too. I allude to that in the book, but there were a lot of people on the crossroads there that helped us go the right direction and inspired us and encouraged us. And in Johnny Cash's case, paid us more than we were worth to go out on the road with him just to keep our head above water. We'll never forget Johnny Cash. I dare say, if not for Johnny Cash and then Jim Halsey, there might not have ever been an Oak Ridge Boys. We might have given up on it because it was really tough times in the 70s.
So, Joe, the song Elvira, that's a song that so many people equate to the Oak Ridge Boys. So that was a crossover hit. It's loved by people of all ages, people that like different kinds of music. And I can remember hearing it for the first time when my cousins played it in their band. So what was the inspiration for this song? And was it something that you ever expected to have happen?
There was no way, Joan, we could have ever expected Elvira to do what it did. In fact, in On the Road with the Oak Ridge Boys, as you can see, I gave it a whole chapter. I named the chapter Elviral because it went viral at a time when going viral wasn't even heard of. And a funny thing happened kind of on the way to the forum there. We were working in 1980. We had already had 12 number one hits. We were winning awards. We were on tour with Kenny Rogers on the first ever country music arena tour, the Full House tour of 79 and 80 with Kenny Rogers, Dottie West, and the Oak Ridge Boys. And on a few occasions, Dolly was on there instead of Dottie. So Dolly. but anyway, man, everything was going our way. We were in the studio in 1980 working on the Fancy Free album. We found a bunch of great songs, as we always do, and we were recording them, having fun. And this song plugger named Ronnie Gant comes in from Acuff Rose Publishing to our producer Ron Chancey and says, that old Elvira song that Dallas Frazier wrote, I heard a band do it in Texas. I got to thinking the whole time, boy, the Oak Ridge Boys could just kill this thing. It would be great. And so Ron said, well, let's take it to them. So it had been recorded a few times. Dallas Frazier had a hit on it, a regional hit. Rodney Crowell had it out. Kenny Rogers in the first edition way back when had this weird minor version of it, Elvira, very strange. Uh-huh. And but Ron said, I got this idea, man. Joe, you sing the verses. Richard, instead of everybody papa mowing like everybody else has done, let Richard do those things. Let's put it down low and go papa mow. It was all Ron Chancey's idea, the producer. So we recorded it. I think we ran it through twice. We had fun. Everybody smiled. Everybody laughed. Yay. Well, that was fun. Well, we get out on the road in early 1981, and we're playing about a 6-day trip up in the Pacific Northwest, and we started putting Elvira on the shows. Here's some new stuff we just recorded. We've got a new album coming out called Fancy Free. Here's a few of the new songs. And, people want to hear the hits. They don't want you to give them too many new songs. But here's a little section of new stuff for you. Just see what you think. Well, we sing Elvira, and the place goes bananas. I mean, crazy. It was almost like we gave them a condo in Montserrat. The audience is screaming and yelling. We backed up and said, whoa. Yeah. And we did it again. Then when they called us out for an encore at the end, I think in particular of the Spokane Opera Center is where we were the first time we ever performed it, Spokane, Washington. We came back out on stage at the end and did Elvira again, and the place went crazy. Well, this happened night after night, so we get back to town and say, hey, MCA Records, something weird is going on with this, man. We need to release it, like now. And they did. It came out as a single in March of 81. By June of 81, it was probably the biggest country record that ever came out of Nashville. Already sold 1 million singles, which was unheard of in those days. I'm not talking, we didn't have iTunes back then. I'm talking about little 45s with big holes in the middle.
Yeah.
Well, then, as Elvira started to come down the charts a little bit, we released a song called Fancy Free from that album, country. But Elvira spilled over to pop radio. Mm-hmm. And from July through September, this whole nation was singing Oom Papa Mau Mau with the Oak Ridge Boys. It was just insane. And it was one of those kind of songs you can never call, you can never figure. To this day, it's our biggest song of all the stuff we've had. People know Elvira. They want to hear it. And every night when we say, let's sing Elvira, and we start singing it, the crowd stands and they sing it with us, and it's just crazy. And it was a pretty amazing time. It took us from being a well-known country music group to a household name.
Yeah. And you know what it is, Joe? I think it's just such a happy song. It immediately transforms a mood. And I think that's probably the secret behind it, that it just makes you feel good.
Yeah, it's kind of like what Steve Martin used to say about banjo playing. And I'm a banjo player, right? Mm-hmm. It's like you can't do a sad song on a banjo, right? It's just impossible to frown and play a banjo. Well, it's impossible not to have a good time with Elvira. And we put that mic out there, and you hear thousands of people going, ooh, Mau, Mau. They're having a blast.
Yeah.
It's the highlight of the show. And here we are, old guys now, walking around, doing stuff. We can walk through an airport, and we'll still hear guys go, hey, man, Elvira. I mean, it's with us like luggage for all of our career, and it's great. It's been a great experience, and man, heck, everybody says, are you tired of it? Heck no, I'm not tired of it. How could you be tired of that? It's such a big moment all the time.
So, Joe, how did this success impact your life?
Well, from a financial standpoint, I was able to pay my bills and raise my family, live in a nice house, put my kids through college, and now my grandkids through college. So that's been very rewarding and a blessing. But what the success has really done for me, it has solidified what my mother taught me growing up. My mama was an old Woman's Army Corps WAC, married to my old veteran daddy, who was a hero at D-Day. And my mother taught me that if you treat people right, if you're honest, if you work hard, and you put Jesus Christ first in your life, good things can happen. Mm-hmm. And she'd always point at my daddy in his wheelchair and say, that's why guys like him did what they did, so don't blow it. To me, I think of her all the time because she was right. And that has played out in my life. And I try to do things right. The Oak Ridge Boys try to do things absolutely right. There's a chapter in the book called the ORB Doctrine. I talk about how you can be in this business and you can do things right. You can be honest. You can be above board all the time. You can treat people correctly. And the music business is as hard or as difficult as you want to make it. And a lot of people make it really difficult. But the Oak Ridge Boys, when our buses pull into, say, a county fair where we've probably played before, they are glad to see us pull in. Why? Because they know that every base has been covered. There's no surprises. There's no crazy demands or egos. And on top of that, the Oaks are going to go on stage and they're going to give a great show to a family audience. They're going to sing a lot of hits that are clean. They're going to sing a few gospel songs. They're going to wave the flag. They're going to get off the stage after Bobby Sue, shake everybody's hand, get back on the bus. That can be how it works. And I think, again, that's another reason for our longevity, is because that is the Oak Ridge Boys, and that is the impact of success and doing it right. But you've got to work hard. I even say in my book, I think there's a quote in there somewhere that says, a lot of people don't realize that success comes with a pair of overalls. It's hard work. Mm-hmm. There's a lot of people that sit on the corner waiting for their limo. Well, you can keep on waiting because it ain't coming. You've got to put in the work. And the Oak Ridge Boys, I think, have worked so hard at being what we are and doing it right that I think that God has blessed us because of it.
The book is On the Road with the Oak Ridge Boys by Joe Bonsall. If you'd like to learn more about Joe or the Oak Ridge Boys or about his book, you can visit his website, josephsbonsall.com. Joe, in our final moments, what advice would you offer to someone starting out in the industry or for someone who wants to follow a dream, whatever that may be?
I think that following a dream is the most important thing you can have and to never give up on it. Now, I augment that by saying you've got to realize you've got the talent. You've got some talent to do it, that you may be offering something a little bit different than everybody else, that you've got the energy and the work ethic and to be willing to do whatever it takes to make it, to make those sacrifices that come with being a success in the music industry or anything else. There's always sacrifice, and you've got to be willing to put yourself out there and work hard and pay your dues and stay with it and not ever give up. Now, if you don't have the talent, if what you're doing on stage isn't moving anybody, you got to move them. If you're not getting big applause, if people are fidgeting while you're singing, if your mama tells you to get up in the living room and sing and the neighbors think you're just awful, maybe you are. Well, then you should consider another vocation. But if you're out there doing something that's moving people and you can feel that, you know it, they're liking what you're doing. They say, man, that guy's a great singer. He's a great musician. Then you've got to just stay with it, because what everybody in this town, I'll just say Nashville for one, but up there in New York and L.A. and everywhere else is the same. But what are people looking for in this town? They're looking for great songs. They're looking for great songwriters. They're looking for a great talent that can be the next big thing. Well, you may be that next big thing, but if you give up, you'll never know it. But if you've got the talent, I say stick with it, man. Don't give up on your dreams.
Joe, thank you so much for joining me today. It has been so much fun speaking with you. And thank you for the important reminder that when you respect others, you work hard, you remember who you are and what's important, anything in life is possible. Thank you so much for being here.
Joan, I thank you for having me. It's an honor to talk to you, man. You're very inspiring, and I thank you for giving me a chance to talk about On the Road with the Oak Ridge Boys. Thank you, man.
We'll be right back. Hi, this is Joan Herman, host of Change Your Attitude, Change Your Life. Did you know that Change Your Attitude, Change Your Life has a free monthly digital magazine that can be read online or emailed to your inbox? Every month, nationally recognized leaders in their field provide information to educate, inspire, and motivate you. We believe in a holistic approach to life, incorporating mind, body, and spirit. Check out a copy of Change Your Attitude, Change Your Life 24/7. Visit cyacyl.com and be sure to tell your friends. Thank you for joining us today. We hope you found the show informative. At Change Your Attitude, Change Your Life, we believe that knowledge is power. Take what you've learned, apply it, and live your best life now. Remember that the information provided are the opinions of our guests and should never replace the advice of a professional who knows your personal situation. If you'd like more information, visit our website, cyacyl.com. That stands for Change Your Attitude, Change Your Life. While on the site, listen to past shows on demand, read the digital magazine, and be sure to follow the show on Facebook and Twitter. Until next time, this is Joan Herman. Thanks for tuning in.